You've seen it every year, right? The big Apple launch event, the slick stage, the cheering crowds, the incredible new tech. But behind all that polish, what's really happening is a masterclass in economics. And it all boils down to one simple billion-dollar question. So let's get right into it. This is the central mystery that kind of puzzles all of us as consumers, but absolutely fascinates economists every single time a new iPhone is announced. I mean, really think about it. The price jump from the standard iPhone to the Pro Max model is huge, hundreds of dollars. But the actual cost to manufacture that better camera or that slightly bigger screen, it's not even close. So what is going on here? Well, the answer is that Apple's strategy has almost nothing to do with covering their costs. It's all about figuring out the absolute maximum amount of money that you are willing to spend. It's all about your willingness to pay. And once they figure that out, they can build a product that's perfect for you and your wallet. So how in the world do they solve this puzzle? I mean, they can't just ask you how much you're willing to pay, right? Well, turns out they don't have to. They just present you with the perfect solution. The absolute best way to understand the iPhone lineup is to stop thinking of them as phones and start seeing them as a menu. Seriously, like at a restaurant, it is carefully, brilliantly designed to get every single customer to find the one option that perfectly lines up with what they're prepared to spend. And here's exactly how that menu works. Each model is basically an economic filter. You got the price-sensitive customer, they're going to naturally go for the SE. The mainstream user who just wants a great phone, they'll get the standard iPhone. And for the people who really value status or just gotta have the best tech, well, they are more than happy to pay that premium for the Pro or the Pro Max. And this incredibly powerful process has a name. It's called self-selection. See, Apple doesn't need to read your mind. They just lay out the options. And by making your choice, you reveal exactly what you value and exactly what you're willing to pay. You sort yourself into the perfect pricing bucket for them. It's genius. So this whole sophisticated strategy, creating a menu, letting customers sort themselves out, it's not just some clever marketing trick. No, it's actually a core economic principle, and it has a formal name. It's called price discrimination. Now, I know what you're thinking. That word discrimination sounds negative. But in economics, it simply means charging different groups of people different prices for basically the same thing. And the goal? It's all about maximizing profit by capturing every last dollar from every part of the market. Okay, so economists actually break this down into 3 levels. First degree is like the holy grail. You charge every single person the absolute max they'd pay. It's basically impossible. Third degree is super common. Think student discounts or senior pricing. But Apple's mastery? It's right there in the middle with second-degree price discrimination. You create different versions of a product, and you let us, the consumers, choose our own price point. That's the iPhone lineup in a nutshell. But hold on. Just when you think you've cracked the code, you realize there's another, much deeper layer to this whole thing. Apple isn't just playing checkers here, they're playing grandmaster-level chess. And here's where it gets truly mind-bending. Apple isn't just passively responding to what we're willing to pay. They are actively, strategically working to increase that number by building a world that is very, very difficult to leave. They do it with the ecosystem, right? Your AirPods just connect. Your Apple Watch tracks your workout. Your photos are all in iCloud. Your texts are those nice blue bubbles in iMessage. Every single Apple product you buy pulls you deeper and deeper in, creating this stickiness that is almost impossible for competitors to break. The more invested you are, the higher the switching cost is. Leaving would just be a massive headache. So this ecosystem creates something that economists have a name for: inelastic demand. It's a fancy way of saying that because you're locked in, you become way less sensitive to price changes. Think about it. If the next iPhone is $50 more, are you really going to ditch your watch, your AirPods, your Mac, and your entire digital life? Probably not, and Apple is absolutely counting on that. So, what is the end result of this perfectly engineered system? You see, in any economic transaction, there's value being created. But the big question, the most important question is, who gets to keep that value? In any deal, there are 2 kinds of surplus value. There's consumer surplus. That's the I got a great deal feeling. You were willing to pay $1,000 for a phone, but you only paid $800. That $200 is your surplus. And then there's producer surplus. That's just a straightforward way of saying the company's profit. And that right there brings us to the ultimate goal of this entire strategy. Everything Apple does, the menu of products, the ecosystem lock-in, it is all designed to do one thing: to systematically shrink your consumer surplus and convert that value directly into their producer surplus. So let's put this all together, shall we? When you strip away all the marketing, the beautiful design, the fancy keynotes, you're left with a clean, powerful, and incredibly profitable economic equation. And there it is. By creating different product tiers, that's your differentiation, and then locking you in with their amazing ecosystem, that's the loyalty, Apple creates inelastic demand. And having inelastic demand gives them the one thing every company on Earth dreams of: pricing power. It is an economic formula, yes, but it's a formula that's supercharged by a brand that has managed to make itself essential to millions of our lives.